Hey, welcome to Rusty Boat. I got kind of a weird, pretty cool offer from a neighbor of mine who works at a place where a guy's got like 50 of these. It's like a tooth for a stump grinder. And it's carbide steel, at least on the edge. I cut a piece off. This is what I'm going to work with today. I'm going to see what I can do with it. Now, I don't know what kind of carbide it is. If it's tungsten carbide, it could be problematic, but I think it's just on the edge. So I'm not too worried about it. The rest of the steel, according to the spark test, seems to go pretty good. I think it's pretty decent carbon content. So the deal was that the guy's got like 50 of these and he'll give them to me, but he would appreciate a knife. So I trust my neighbor to vouch for this guy because I don't make knives for just anybody. I don't generally make them for people I don't know. But I think this is a deal worth doing. So I'm going to take this and see what kind of knife I can make. It'll give me a chance to try a couple things I want to try anyhow in knife making to improve my skill. Not just at making the blade, but the handle and stuff like that. So I want to try making, something unique. So that's where it's at, and let's get started. So this is a stump grinder tooth with the piece I cut off, the second one that I have. The carbide is all along the edge. Again, I don't know what kind of carbide, if it's tungsten carbide or what, but it's just on the edge, and I'm going to see how this piece that I cut off, the other one, is going to fare because, maybe because the rest of it, like I said, passed spark test pretty well. Seems to be pretty decent carbon content everywhere else, and the grinder had a hard time biting on this edge where the carbide is. So I'm going to see how that looks when I get it in the forge, when I get it out of the forge and onto the anvil for hammering. So we're going to throw it in though right now and get that heated up. Okay, so I put this on the magnet because this piece was hardened, obviously. And it got it above critical heat. It was not magnetic. So I'm going to let it cool down to dark, and then I will probably be able to work it safely. Okay, so I am magnifying in on the work so far, and you can see, I think, still a few bits of carbide and some inclusions. And I think, those are going to sand, the inclusions will sand out. And the carbide, if they don't go anyplace, I mean, I think it'll be kind of actually maybe a cool extra thing with the blade. It's not down by the edge. I don't think the edge is going to be affected. And it's good thick steel. And this is really hard steel to work with. The hammers, my heavy hammers, are not pushing it like they usually do. So I don't know if it's because, maybe this is an alloy, or maybe it's just very, respectably high carbon steel, along with the carbide coating. So, but either way, the knife is on the way. It's taking shape. Alright, so because my power's out and I can't really work on the knife so much, I have this piece that I cut off. It's like a piece of the excess from the tang, and I made a small chisel out of it. At the time, when I was forging, I actually made this chisel point, and then I just today put it on like a hand crank grinder to get it to here, and then I just heated it up, and is non-magnetic. So assuming that works with this type of steel, which I don't exactly know what it is, I'm going to try cutting through this and see what it does. Wow, okay. That one was the charm. It cut through. I cannot find the pieces. I know they went separate directions, but the notch in the middle is from my first attempt, which fumbled, but I went over, let's see if I can find, okay, so I went over to this side, and that does not appear to be harmed at all. Let's see if I can get it in the light better, but so I think this steel's pretty damn good. It did cut through finish nail. If I can find the pieces, I will put them here. Alright, I'm going to try to do it one more time with that spot that seemed to be cutting. And I have cardboard there as a backstop, so hopefully I can get one of these pieces. And no, but the blade is okay. I'm going to see if I can find one of those pieces on the floor. Okay, as it so happens, I found the nail from the first nail I cut, and the piece from the one I just cut now, and both of them have their heads, so it's just 1/2 of each. But the place where they cut was right there. That little dent there is from the fumble the first time, but the edge there is unmarred, other than it's shiny now from the cuts. So what that does is tell me that the steel is pretty decent carbon content, and very hardenable, and is good steel for making knives. Alright, I spent most of the morning milling this on the sander, and I think I'm just about done. It was very difficult drilling these holes. The steel's pretty hard as it is, even without quenching it, hardening it. But the edge seems pretty good. So I think I'm pretty damn close to quenching it. I don't know, I might work it just a wee bit more, but no cracking that I heard. I don't see anything. No warpage. That's great. Hey, thanks for hanging out on this wet, cold, windy weekend. I got the knife done, and there are no cracks, no warps, and there is a Hammond. Now, whatever the steel is, I really don't know what they make stump grinder teeth out of. I've tried to research it, and all I can say is carbide steel. Well, that doesn't tell me a whole lot, because the carbide is adhered to it. I don't know, it's welded on or whatever, but at any rate, the steel itself is pretty harder to work with than what I'm used to, and seemed pretty forgiving in the quench, unless that was just, the clay, the way I did the clay and stuff. But pretty pleased with it, and I'm going to handle it up, and hopefully the guy I'm doing the trade with will be pleased with it. My neighbor seems to think he will, and I don't know what I'm going to do with like 50 stump grinder teeth, but we'll see down the road. So, all right, hope you had a good weekend, and it's warmer than mine. You stay well. Be good.